What's up everyone? One more day here with another episode of the show Rig on Fire. Today I want to talk about why sometimes I rather stick with pedals. Well, before we go any further, let me say again, I know I always say that, might I need to say because my life is weird. This is not my first channel, this is my second channel because my main channel is in Portuguese because I'm from Brazil, but I started living here in 2015 in the United States. So I started this new channel because I think makes sense, but my older channel is in Portuguese. So, if you are from Brazil, don't sweat it, there is a link for the same episode in Portuguese. Let's go to the video. I bring it 4 different pedals here. Then I'm going to do 2 different sounds. The first tone that I'm going to build in here is going to be something more doom metal or even stoner rock. It's the Necromancer from Drawcar. What is the name here? I'm blind. I cannot remember the name of the company. Dwarcraft. This is hard. English is not my first language, okay? Dwarcraft Devices. That's the name of the company. Unfortunately, this company is not around anymore, but this pedal, this first pedal, is so unique in my opinion. And because of that, I bring it here to try build a very unique tone. And I bring this Univibe type of pedal. This is the Crankoheart from Cross Devices. It's a Brazilian brand. The pedals go inside this Explainer Model 1. This is a boutique version from GCM 800. And the amplifier goes to the Torpedo Live, my load box, loading this impulse response here, the V30 Gold Monster. It's my own impulse response. You can find these impulse responses that I'm going to show you here at the Electric Eye Audio website. After that, I'm going to use the Step Zone from King Pedals. It's an Australian brand. It's so cool, this pedal. And there is a very unique sound for metal. And my beloved Mud Killer to boost this guy here. And the result is very cool. I use the same amplifier as well on this situation here. I use the Explainer Model 1. Again, loading this impulse response, the Holy Grail, my Mesa Boogie oversized 4x12 with vintage 30s. After show these tones, I'm going to replicate the same kind of tone inside the Helix here. I could try do the same thing on the Quad Cortex that I have or the Kemper, but I think the Helix has lots of nice emulations of the JCM 800 and dual rectifiers. It's very, very close to the real deal. And they have a list of several different pedals. And I try to replicate the same sound. Of course, there is no Necromancer inside the Helix. There is no Step Zone or even the Mud Killer. But I try to use something similar just to try to match and see what happens. At the end of the day, you're going to realize it's very hard to replicate some tones when you use just pedals on the digital realm. It's not a matter of better or worse, it's just different. And sometimes I prefer work with the both or work just with pedals, depend on the situation. I was in Brazil 1 month ago on my tour of clinics and workshops, and lots of people ask me, why you just bring the wah pedal, Mud Killer, and the Quad Cortex for everything that I play? The question is, there is lots of different answers for that question. Easy to carry around, it's small, it's faster to set up everything, and you name it, there is lots of reasons. If I want to keep my signature sound, even on the situation that I can capture the tone like on the Quad Cortex or even on the Kemper, especially when you're talking about fuzz pedals and other tones. So don't get me wrong, it's amazing. I love those units. I think it's awesome, but just explain why I'm still love guitar pedals. Because they are cool, they are good looking, they are badass stuff. I think the learning when you jump inside the analog universe, it's more what I try to say, you're going to know the real stuff and how those real stuff working inside the digital realm. Will be good for your learning process about effects and everything. At the end of the day, my point here is not show what is better or worse. It's not a matter of better or worse. It's just to show you the pain of the situation. But sometimes it's very hard to replicate the sound of some pedals and amplifiers inside the digital realm. Very important, how I try to replicate that tone inside the Helix here. To try to replicate the Necromancer, the interaction between the Necromancer and the cranker heart here, there is not such a thing like this pedal inside the Helix. So I use the emulation of the Z-Vex. It's amazing first pedal, the Fuzz Factory. It's amazing. I try to replicate. It was the thing closer to this pedal that I find inside the Helix. And since this pedal has equalization knobs and the Fuzz Factory not, I use another equalizer after the Fuzz Factory inside the Helix to try to match the sound. And I use the same amplifier, a JCM800, with the same settings of this amp inside the Helix and the same impulse response. Same thing for those two guys here. On the Helix, I try to replicate that sound because they don't have that pedal inside the Helix. I try to replicate that sound with Big Muff inside the Helix. And since the Helix doesn't have the Mud Killer, I use a similar pedal called Precision Drive from Horizon Device because the idea is very similar of the Mud Killer. And I use the same amplifier, JCM800, and the same impulse response, the 4x12 oversized Mesa Boogie, the Holy Grail. As you were able to hear, it's pretty far. Again, don't get me wrong, the tone that I got inside the Helix was amazing. Sometimes could be better. I don't want to jump inside the stupid discussion about the digital and the real stuff, the real deal, and that kind of biased discussion that we always saw on the groups of Facebook and stuff like that. I just want to show how important it is realize those kind of little guys here. It's still very nice. Of course, if you want to use some very generic stuff like a dual rectifier when a tube screaming in the front of the amplifier, this guy is gonna do exactly the same job in my opinion. Because I already did that, I can show you the comparison this video here. If you didn't watch this video, please go there. You're going to see my dual rectifier with a boost in the front of the amp, and this guy with the same boost, the same impulse response, and you're going to see by yourself the Helix can replicate exactly the same tone. What I try to say here is if you want to replicate classic stuff, Helix, Kemper, or even fractals, they are amazing and super reliable and easy to carry around. It's amazing. But sometimes those two words can share the same pedal board together, at the same stage together, or the same studio. And I think this is a very clever way to cook your own tone. Let me know what you think on the comment section. Please check my last video here. Show some love. The link is here on the description field below. And this is my new single for my last album that I'm going to release at the end of 2022. And that's it. I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up. See you next time. I'm out.